Welcome to Jet Set Radio. Jet Set Radio is an action-adventure game, sort of, released in 2000 by Sega and Smilebit Entertainment. This will be an 100% playthrough of the entire game, jet ranking every level, getting all collectables, unlocking all characters. On top of that, this series is going to hopefully make the game more approachable and more comprehensive than other information on the game has been in the past. This playthrough is edited, so there may be some cuts or things that aren't 100% in sequence with a consistent full playthrough of the game, because you can technically beat the game in one sitting. If you really wanted to, you can 100% the game in one sitting. Jet Set Radio is not a very long game, especially if you know what you're doing, but it is quite enjoyable and highly replayable, which the videos I make on this game hopefully will show why that's the case. Let's just start the thing instead of rambling on about it.
Somewhere in Asia, there's a city that cannot be found on any map called Tokyo-to, but everyone just calls it Tokyo. The two hottest things in the streets of Tokyo-to are the punks wearing magnetically driven inline skates powered by newly developed Metrium batteries, and Jet Set Radio, a pirate radio station manned by the DJ Professor K that plays nothing but non-stop hardcore music. Those street punks have been named Rudies by the people of Tokyo-to. They roam the streets and cover the city with their personal graffiti, claiming that it is their way of expressing themselves to the world. However, ever since the metropolitan government and the financial conglomerate, the Rokuku Group, combined their efforts to co-found the 21st Century Project, the streets of Tokyo-to have never been the same again. Police crackdowns on the Rudies have become more severe, and Captain Onishima is more anxious than ever to put them behind bars. The streets of Tokyo-to are ready to explode.
Alright, now we're playing as our first character. This is Beat, in case the game didn't actually give the information. I'm almost certain it did. This series will have intermittent commentary because this game has an incredible soundtrack that I feel is highly worth showing off, which is why there is this radio pop-up that happens every time a new song, well, every time a song in the game is played. The game by default does not have a displayed radio, which makes it really difficult to tell what the name of the song is and who created it, despite the fact that most versions of Jet Set Radio actually do have a radio function in one of the menus. It's not easily discoverable and is not very intuitive, so anytime a new song shows up, they'll be there. What we're doing right now is the recruitment challenges for the first two characters in our story for the GGs. The GGs being what Professor K described as like street gang, but in the most like inane way possible. It's just vandalism and nothing more. Okay, maybe it's a little violence, but whatever. So in order to get characters in this game, you have to unlock them by completing certain challenges. Most characters in the game will have varying, albeit similar challenges, many of which function as a tutorial of sorts for the game, as the original version of Jet Set Radio on the Dreamcast did not have a tutorial, but subsequent versions do. The in-game, like, main story tutorial is better.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. Nice. Nice.
We've done all of Gum's challenges, which teach us the basics of movement, grinding, boosting, which is just holding a button, and basic sprays. Now we move on to the second member, who is Tab, who's going to teach us about more complicated spray methods, because in Jet Set Radio, graffiti is one of the central mechanics, along with just general platforming. When spraying graffiti, there are three types of sprays. Only one of them you don't have to do directional inputs for, but the large size and extra large sizes have spray patterns which vary from character to character. By learning how to do that and memorizing those patterns, the game can become easier, or at least played faster. Tab also is going to show how to sketch onto cars. I'm lifting the term sketch from, well, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, which I'm imagining there's going to be a lot of parallels between the two games because on the surface they look similar, but in all honesty, they're quite different games. When you get down to it, their goals are different. But that's not the point. I'm here to talk about Jet Set Radio, not Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. So by sketching the cars, you're able to move up hills a little faster. This mechanic is almost never used. This single area of the game, the downhill section of this area, which is referred to as Shibuya Cho. I believe this area is Center Street, if I'm not mistaken. The only time that sketching on cars is useful is in here, and it's only marginally useful because technically you can get up almost as quickly with well-timed jumps and just landing on rails to boost your speed. Now, it's not actually as fast as getting to the back of the cars, but you don't have to wait for a second one by doing this. You'll notice that same car passes us almost by the time we hit it. It's marginally faster to do that. I've played the game enough times to have a decent idea of what things are faster than others, but I'm by no means a speedrunner. The fastest I think I've beaten the game in just a sitting is like maybe 2 hours, which is quite short, but it's not speedrun time. Like, speedruns of this game are usually only like 45 minutes, I think. Tab's next challenge is just like a basic grind combo. You don't have to press any buttons to do grinds, which was shown with Gum's tutorial. Grinds are automatic so long as you land on and or like very near to a rail. The game's movement, I don't know if it's immediately obvious, but this game is a bit of an old game and a bit of an old 3D platformer, so the movements can at first seem kind of clunky, and to anybody who feels that way, you're right. You are right. The controls are clunky, but if you get used to them, they actually work surprisingly well, which I know you can argue for a lot of things, but in general, it's just good. We've unlocked Tab, which are the two characters we're gonna get at the beginning now. So we move on to a cutscene.
Hey out there, this is Tokyo's very own #1 pirate power station, Jet Set Radio! Over the hood, through the streets, and right into your brain. We're transmitting our signal straight to you. Y'all got your antennas on or what? Yeah, we're riding high in a smooth stream of supersonic sound. And I'm your captain and DJ, Professor K. Jet Set Radio! 3 games of fighting for the Tokyo streets. In the west, from Cho, the city of the night, we got those high-tech maniacs, those man machines, the noise tanks. And in the east, from Cho, the city of the sunset, it's that crazy monster mask wearing gang, Poison Jam. And from Shibuya Cho, in the south, the city of daylight, it's those troublemaking punks, the GGs. The GG's home turf, Shibuya Cho, was just attacked. Was it Poison Jam? They were talking about spreading out there. Or maybe it was the noise tank, trying to send a system crash through the whole city. Listen up, all you innocent fools out there. Officer Onishima has got some special order Kisatsu bracelets all ready for you. So, get yourselves to the bathroom and brush those teeth, boys and girls, because a whole load of trouble is heading your way.
Alright, now we've made it to Chapter 1. So there's quite a lot to go over before we start doing anything, although I'm gonna move at a rather quick pace. The first thing we're going to be discussing are the characters that we have available to us. The first character is Beat. He has things going on. I don't know. To unlock him, well, you don't actually have to do anything. This is the only time in the game that you don't have to do anything to unlock him. Start a new game, and you've got him immediately, like even in the tutorial stuff.
Let's look at the fun.
As for Graffiti, each character comes with their own unique in 3 sizes, small, large, and extra large. Beat Small is Beat the Clock by Beat at Graffiti number 1. His medium-sized Graffiti is Beat This by Beat at number 35. And then, lastly, there's an extra large Graffiti for Beat, who is Theater of Sound by Kabuki Jam at number 69. Why this is not also referred to by Beat, I don't know. Next up is Beat's spray pattern. So Beat's pattern goes from top to bottom in stage 1. For stage 2, it's 6 to 12 counterclockwise. Stage 3, 12 to 6 clockwise, 6 to 12 counterclockwise. Stage 4, 12 to 12 clockwise, 12 to 6 counterclockwise. Stage 5, 6 to 6 clockwise, 6 to 12 counterclockwise. Stage 6, 12 to 12 clockwise, twice. Stage 7, 12 to 6 counterclockwise, 6 to 6 clockwise, 6 to 12 counterclockwise. And just for context, every time I pull up the spray patterns, I am going to substantiate that by showing the maximum spray size for each character, as well as the large Graffiti just being sprayed in that area. Now this level is kind of a spoiler because we haven't gotten to it yet, but you can barely see it, so I'm hoping it's not that big a deal. Next up is Beat's stats. Generally, stats are referred to as unimportant, but I don't agree with that. Beat has a maximum of 20 cans, has this much health, which is directly proportional to his power stat. He has a fairly low technique stat and a decent Graffiti stat. As for tricks, Beat has Flying Kite, Method, Backflip, 720, Method, Acid Soul, Farside Acid Soul, Backside, and Backside Backslide, Alley-Oop Miz, and Farside Alley-Oop Miz. Soil, Farside Soil, Unity, Backside Unity, Judo Backflip 180, Misty Flip, 540, and Abstract 540. After Beat, we have Gum, the first character we technically unlocked in this game, although depending on how you consider it, it's automatic, but complete the intro tutorial to unlock Gum. This is one of the easier ones to unlock because it's really just a tutorial. Gum has her own unique pieces of Graffiti. At number 2, we have Pop by Gum for horse-sized small Graffiti. For large size, we have Minty Cool Flavor by guess who at number 36. And for extra large, we have Off the Edge by Edge at number 70. Gum has her own type of spray pattern. Stage 1, 12 to 6 counterclockwise, 6 to 12 clockwise. Stage 2, 12 to 12 counterclockwise, 12 to 6 clockwise. Stage 3, 6 to 6 counterclockwise, 6 to 12 clockwise. Stage 4, 12 to 6 counterclockwise, 6 to 6 clockwise. Stage 5, 6 to 12 counterclockwise, 12 to 6 clockwise, 6 to 12 counterclockwise. Stage 6, 12 to 6 clockwise, 6 to 6 counterclockwise, 6 to 6 clockwise. Stage 7, 6 to 6 counterclockwise, 6 to 6 clockwise, 6 to 6 counterclockwise. Of course, as always, we are going to show the spray pattern in action real quick. Also giving an example of Gum's Graffiti. Alright, next up we've got stats for Gum. Gum has a max of 15 spray cans carried at a time, has about half of a full health bar, has proportionately low power, moderate technique, and a very high Graffiti stat. Gum is great to use if you want high scores with Graffiti early in the game. Next up are tricks. Front flip, and judo for frontside airs, 360, and method backflip for backside airs. Rock mac and farside rock mac, royal, backside royal, soul, and farside soul for forward grinds, farside alley-up macchio, alley-oop miz, and farside alley-oop miz for reverse grinds, backflip 180, and method 540 for forward verts, judo backflip 180, and shifty 180 for reverse verts. Lastly, we unlocked Tab. Tab looks like a janitor, wow. So as you know, Tab is unlocked by completing the intro tutorial challenge, Tab specifically. There's no way to skip this in the game, there's no way to skip this character. You will get it if you beat the tutorial. For Graffiti, Tab has his own small size, which is Tab Me by Tab at number 3. For Large, Tab has Pull the Tab by himself at number 37. And lastly, we have a Monkey. Don't Monkey Around by Monkey Business at number 71 for extra large. Next up is Tab Spray Pattern. He also has a unique type, Tab type. Stage 1 is bottom to top. Stage 2 is top to bottom. Stage 3 is 6 to 12 counterclockwise. Stage 4 is 12 to 12 clockwise. Stage 5 is 12 to 6 clockwise and then 6 to 12 counterclockwise. Stage 6 is 12 to 6 counterclockwise and then 6 to 6 counterclockwise. Stage 7 is 6 to 6 clockwise twice. All around not the hardest spray pattern. None of them are super easy, but once you memorize them, they can be particularly helpful. Next up is stats. Tab has a maximum of 30 spray cans, which makes him extremely useful for getting through the levels quickly because you can batch your spray cans. Has a decent power stat, has a decent technique stat, but a low graffiti stat. So if you're looking to get points by graffiti, he's not your guy, but if you're looking to get points by going fast and doing tricks, it's good. His forward airs are 360 and method, judo backflip, and shifty are his reverse airs. His forward grinds are front side, backside front side, macchio, far side macchio, X, and far side X. His reverse grinds are alley-oop soul, far side alley-oop soul, porn star, and far side porn star. Gets me every time. His forward verts are judo 180 and method backflip 180. His reverse verts are misty flip and stalefish 180. Alright, now that we're done that, we're almost done dumping information on you. I promise it will end soon. But before we start the first level, Shibuya GG, we have to go over these. These are graffiti souls. These are little collectibles scattered throughout the map that you usually have to do some sort of challenge to find. Every single one of these unlocks a unique piece of graffiti. There are, I believe, over 50 of them in the game, all of which of varying sizes. Now, there's like 100 some odd pieces of graffiti in the game total, but several of them are unlocked by unlocking characters, not by graffiti souls. However, if you want to see all the graffiti in the game, you have to unlock the graffiti souls, which we will be doing. Starting off with Shibuya's first area, the bus terminal, which we saw in the tutorial. First graffiti on offer is Ryu 2 by Ryu at number 11. Second up is How Much Is That Mutt in the Window by Sick Puppy at number 15. Another small graffiti. Now, moving on to large graffiti, we have This Away, That Away by Black Donut at number 45. And Clumsy Punk by Bose at number 49. Moving on to our extra large graffiti, The Bus Terminal Can Guarantee You Psycho Colors by Crazy Crew at number 79. Now that's it, I'm done dumping information on you. Psych. There's more. Every stage has a ranking system. Now, if you saw back there, the jet rank for this level is 33,000 points, which sounds like a lot, but really isn't. This is one of the easiest levels in the game because it's got a really lenient score requirement. As As I mentioned the graffiti souls, I'm going to be getting all of them in the game, and once all of them are collected, I will put up a separate video detailing each of them, what they are, and their locations. Similarly to what I did showing the graffiti in the area, but there will also be one that's numbered numerically, and there will be one numbered by location. I really messed up that jump. That bus almost was deserved. Normally you can get a lot of the stuff in here in a loop. I was hoping to show off a loop just so you can net a few extra points, but I'm not that great, so I didn't. The objective of most, actually basically all missions in the game, is to spray the red arrow areas, which either is putting your own graffiti somewhere or covering up someone else's graffiti. That's the core mechanic of the game. I honestly believe that tricks are secondary, albeit useful for getting points and fun. I'm trying here to go over the area at the bottom first because there's yet another thing that's going to come up in a second.
Fleeing in the vicinity of Shibuya bus terminal, all officers respond.
Once you get that radio in the bottom, which is a police radio, if you do another spray after that, specifically red sprays, green sprays, which I don't think we have in this level yet, don't count towards that. If the radio appears, whatever next red spray you do, once you complete it, an enemy will show up. In this case, it's just a rinky-dink group of police officers with batons. All they'll do is bump into you, grab you, and potentially knock you over if they do grab you. They're not really much of a threat, but they do make getting the sprays at the bottom area of the level where the buses are a little more tricky. I'm going back and forth to try and find good paths for the graffiti soul. I'm particularly happy with that one because I managed to get 2 back-to-back very quickly. For spray patterns, if you make a mistake in your spray pattern, you lose a bonus towards your score, so the better you can do your spray patterns, the higher your score for a graffiti stat will be. I'll be playing as Gum throughout most of the game because Gum is basically tied for the highest graffiti stat in the game with a few other characters. I don't think Gum is explicitly the highest, but will be the best option for most of the game. I'm also used to her spray pattern, so switching to another character just wouldn't work for me. I mean, it could, but I'm lazy, and I'm not gonna do that. Most of what I'm doing here now is just trying to find routes away from the cops, which was fairly easy, and I meet the score requirement, and we get a jet rank.
That's right.
Let's get scratching.
I'm hijacking the airways and terrorizing you with tunes because we're gonna turn these dirty streets into one big dance party. Jet Set Radio! Those cats who ransacked Shibuya Cho turned out to be the Love Shockers. Love broke their hearts and now they're looking to do some breaking of their own. Watch out for these psychos. When you see their heart-shaped graffiti around, you know someone somewhere is crying with a uki uki waku waku feeling. Can the GG save Shibuya Cho from the trap of love, or is it too late?